the button is pressed here. Welcome back, everybody. This is I think we're going to be going off the rails a lot tonight, just because we didn't quite have a subject, but we were already talking ahead of this, and here we are. So welcome back to the Natives in America podcast, people. With me, as always, is Sky Antone here.
What up? What up?
Yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo. I don't know why I said that. It's alright. It's all good.
Yeah, way back when, I saw this gangster chick say that, like, real serious, yo, 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 and I thought it was the most hilarious shit I've ever seen.
Were they making their hand in a rolling motion?
Yeah. Seriously, yeah. Yo, 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 throwing the hands up. I just busted out laughing, and now I say it all the time, kind of sarcastically. But I say it so often now, it's like I'm saying it anyway. I might as well be saying it. That and bruh. I say bruh so much, and I always do it sarcastically, but it's in my vocabulary now. My vernacular.
Yeah, I used to say my bad a lot. My bad. Even when it's not even my bad, it was just, I'll take it. My bad.
Just owning it, huh?
Yeah, just manning up and just taking one for the team.
So manly.
My bad.
My bad. Shit. My bad. So should we get to business or get to the business that's at hand here? How'd you
announcements?
Do we have an announcements?
I don't think so. I'm stalling.
I want to say, yeah. Well, I actually do want to say sorry to the people that are listening about my consistency over the past couple weeks. Stuff just keeps happening. I'm either in Tucson without the equipment or just being lazy. Like, stuff just keeps popping off where either me and Sky don't get together to record or I don't get the recording uploaded on a regular basis. Like, I'm trying to stick to Wednesdays and Saturdays while we're still knocking out the old episodes. I think we got one or two more from the past. So I just want to apologize. Like, one of the best bits of advice I ever heard about podcasting was from Joe Rogan, and he says the key to success in a podcast is consistency. Just producing it and keep going. And that's been really key. Like, the first podcast I tried to pop off was the Electrify Your Mind podcast with Benjamin Wan, and I only made it like 6 or 7 episodes, and it was really because I started worrying too much about what people thought. Like, oh, can I say this? Should I say that? And really, who cares? I'm doing this to exercise my mind. We were talking about that earlier, is exercising your intellect. And this is a huge outlet for me. And I'm really proud of it, and it's kind of taking off in ways I never expected. So I'm just apologizing that I'm not being all that consistent lately. I'm looking to work on that, and always and ever improving the podcast, for our audience and for myself and for Sky. So I guess that's my announcement. Do you have any announcements, Sky?
No. I don't.
Think about
it. Just maybe if you have any ideas for topics or maybe have a question or something. I don't know. Comment or
I like feedback.
Yeah, we appreciate the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I know we both have different schedules.
Yeah.
So I've been pretty busy too, so I'm not always available. So yeah, I mean, I think we prefer to do it in person, but that can't always happen. So
yeah,
that's cool that we can still record on the phone, which is what we've always been doing. So it's, yeah, I think it's just things are getting busy, but we're still going at it with this podcast because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff we do talk about is kind of ponder on it after, and it's like, hey, I'm kind of making sense for a little bit, but a lot of times we're not making no sense.
Like, get to the point, guys.
What the fuck did he say? So today's kind of like no other,
Yeah. I think going through the older episodes, I really get the feeling like, damn, there's a lot of times where we just didn't have the time to touch on a subject. Like, we'll develop something late in the episode, and then we're like, we'll come back to that. And it's like hard to keep track of, we'll come back to that. Like, I think having a paper sitting around to write down what we're coming back to might be a hell of an improvement on what we've been doing. But so far I've been enjoying this. Like I guess that's the key, is I'm still enjoying this as much as it was in the beginning, if not more, because it's like I know our subscriber base is growing, and we're getting it out there, and I think the more guests we have, the better. I think Mr. Wesh's episode was a big hit. I think it's doing really well. Like, just in a single day, it's hit the triple digits. Maybe even less than 24 hours, it hit triple digits. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty cool.
Not bad. Okay. Anything else before we move on to tonight's subject? I'm watching the numbers on the screen here, like, as the time goes, and I think we're really bad about going past 10 minutes to even announce a subject. We're at 8 minutes right now. We just hit 8 minutes. So, Sky, I think in text you said you want to go along something about one of our previous subjects, which was being nice, which I'll say again, I thought was a ridiculous subject until we actually started talking about it, and then I was like, wow, like, yeah. Apparently I had a lot to say about it.
Yeah. No, I still ponder on that that whole discussion, and then just sort of course, where we went with it, but I think I was having a hard time describing it in text because I'm still trying to grasp what I'm trying to say, because our words are powerful. We can say things and it can change.
Mm-hmm.
You can speak things into existence. It's just how powerful your words are.
Yeah.
But they also can be used negatively, and maybe that's where I'm hitting at, where because we were talking about it earlier with sarcasm, like is sarcasm negative?
I'm trying to think of the expression. It was like sarcasm is rudeness is dirty cousin or something like that. I can't remember it.
But sarcasm is awesome too. So I don't want to make this a shit on sarcasm, but what I'm saying is...
What are you saying, Sky?
You can be sincere with your words, and it's not because you're being nice, it's because you believe in what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, that's what you were saying.
So...
the difference between... Like, if somebody's hurt and you're consoling them, there's a difference between... I think the word is placating them versus telling them how you really feel.
Yeah.
And I don't even mean, like, how you really feel, like, oh, I'd rather hurt this person's feelings. I think it's more like you truly believe in the words you're telling them. Right? Yeah, I'm a huge sarcasm guy. Like I said earlier to you before we even started this, I use sarcasm in almost every interaction I have with people. And I think in past relationships that's been where I went overboard with it. Or maybe we were around each other too much where the sarcasm just became this a problem. It became a problem, and it caused problems in my relationships in the past, where I was just laying it on thick, and really, that at some point, all I was giving them was sarcasm. And yeah, that can get old, I guess.
But you know, the sarcasm. So I always say too, like, it's harder to be positive than it is to be negative. Because you could be in a challenging situation, and it'd be easier to just already put yourself down because you're already down. But to kind of still be saying positive things, you're almost using more energy.
Yeah, you're daring to be positive in a negative.
Yes.
In a negative situation.
So, is sarcasm that where we need to be positive, but maybe I don't know. I think I'm losing it, but.
I think we're going a little too deep into sarcasm, but I got a question for you before we move on here. Why do you use sarcasm? Like, when you're using it, what's the point of using it?
Maybe not so much dryness of conversations, but just adding some pizzazz to the room. I don't know. Adding some pizzazz to the discussion. I don't know.
I always like it when you use that word.
But it's
pizzazz.
Subtle way to make jokes, but still staying in that pocket of seriousness sometimes. I mean, you could be in a heavy situation, but there might be a slight moment for a sarcastic, not even something related to it, but just in a joking way where...
Yeah.
I think that's trust, too, where if someone knows you, they'll get it.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of going back to what you were saying with when maybe there's a lot more tied to the discussion, but sarcasm isn't always helpful.
Yeah.
But when it's maybe someone that you trust, or maybe someone that you just know they're not going to get offended. But I also know too where I remember my niece, and she was just kind of learning how to do it. Like, I mean, like how to say stuff and jokingly do it. Like,
yeah, it's a skill.
How to be funny, but when she was doing it, it was kind of like real mean. But I remember that day she was like, "Hey, I like your hair," and then I was all thanks. And she was like, "Just kidding." and it was like I got a little hurt. I was like, "Oh, damn!"
Burn.
But I mean, she was playing by the rules. I mean, it's just.
That's great.
I guess knowing you're twiddling with inappropriateness, but you're being allowed to in an appropriate setting. Because you could. I guess have you ever seen sarcasm used in a situation that's not helpful?
Oh yeah. I think what I was talking about it becoming a problem in the past was I've abused it. I just started using it all the time. Like I had lost my ability not to be sarcastic. There was I wanted to bring up an episode of American Dad. You know Roger the alien. He's always saying some mean ass like fucked up shit, and then one day they're like, "Hey man," like they treated him like it was the worst thing he could ever be, and when he cut it all out, he started getting sick from not being able to say terrible things. He started getting sick from being nice. Like he started like they did like the whole E.T. thing where he had a flower and it was like dying, just like him. You know, he was connected to it, and it was all sagging and the petals are falling off. He's like, "Your hair looks really nice," and he's just like, "Oh." And then they're like, "Dear God, he's dying." They're like, "It's okay, Roger, go ahead and use it." And he's just like, "You suck." And then he felt a little better. He perked up, and then like I think the son is trying to perform or dancing, and he's like, "Oh, that was terrible. You're just terrible." And then he perked up a little bit more. So I guess what I'm saying is that there's a level and situations where it's completely inappropriate, and there's been plenty of times where I've completely abused it and just could not stop. I've trained I see it as lightening the mood in almost every situation. I'm trying to be funny because I don't like being sad, and I'm a dark individual. I've got anger issues, and I think there's a little bit of that anger in my sarcasm that comes off because there's a tone.
Yeah.
But really, it's my poor attempt at trying to lighten the mood all the time, and I kind of use it as like I'm fighting the mundane, I'm fighting the seriousness of situations. Like it's like. Come on, guys, why are we being so serious? And I start, throwing sarcasm in my responses, and I feel better, but it's not for everybody.
Spicing it up, bro.
Your pizzazz. I'm gonna find you a spice, and I'm gonna put a label on it that just says pizzazz, and you're gonna shake it on all your foods. Like,
you know what, man? There's this thing that you ever had tahini?
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is.
You remember that Mexican candy called Lucas?
Yes.
It's like they had different flavors, but I don't even know what it was, but it was good.
That's your pizzazz?
No, well, tahini is this. It's not a spice, but it's like Lucas, but you can put it in the spice cabinet, and it would be okay. But it's like this Lucas thing. I mean, it's, you put it on like fruit or like cucumbers and.
Okay. Yeah.
But I've been obsessed with it, with watermelon and tahini.
Yeah.
And Yeah, it goes good on a lot of other fruits.
Is it like little red flecks?
Yeah.
I think I've had it then.
You probably have.
It's in tamarindo and all that, like tamarind.
Yeah, well, I think they usually mix that.
Yeah.
They usually mix that together. I'm pretty sure they do. But, sarcasm is the tahini.
Yes.
And our conversations.
Yeah.
I mean, even going back to the intellectual wellness, we're saying, like, stimulating the mind or doing the arts.
You're going to have to give people a review of that because we didn't even record any of that.
Oh.
So what are you talking about, Sky?
I'm saying when we talk about wellness, it can be broken down into like maybe about 7 components, but there's like emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, physical wellness, social wellness, but
occupational and intellectual.
Yeah, and they're kind of got to have a good balance of them all.
Yeah.
But we were talking about intellectual wellness earlier, and how going to watch a film or going to a concert or going to a museum, doing some type of activity where you're learning. That's important for your wellness, but it gives you all these other things. But why were we talking about? I totally forgot. So I'm saying sarcasm, and to be able to use it smoothly and to where it's appropriate, or I don't know about that, but it's sort of using your smarts.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe there's good sarcasm and bad sarcasm. Like if I find that really intelligent people, usually people who are way smarter than I am, are really good at sarcasm. Like it burns, it stings a little. And it's like, good one, you got me. Or you just kind of like nice. You step back and you're nice.
Yeah, no, that's a good burn.
Yeah. It stings, but you love it.
No, so I'm saying to be able to use language at that level or that caliber, because you're still communicating, but you're also, I want to say insightful, but it's also just kind of tickling the letters. Yeah, nice.
You tickle your letters a lot, don't you?
I like to tickle.
You like to tickle your letters out in public.
Am I making any sense, or am I?
Sure. But tell me this: is this episode about sarcasm, or is it about tickling letters? I'm thinking the word is sincerity. It's kind of what you were talking about earlier about meaning the words you're saying, truly believing in them versus. And then you go to my word where I said placating, where you're just saying the words to get somebody to cool down, or just going through the motions of speech.
Or being nice.
Yeah, being okay, nice, good job, being nice.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's where it's almost like I feel there's like a thin line between that, because I mean, you just said it like maybe there is a dark, or maybe there's a wrong sarcasm and a right sarcasm, or a good and dark. I don't know, but it comes from a rude place, or it can come from a dark place, but it can have a positive outcome.
Yeah.
But I totally lost what I was saying.
Well, I'm going to take us another direction, which I'm really starting to realize we should be doing every time, is putting I mean, we are natives in America, but how about we put a native twist on it? So, we're talking about this subject, but let's make it native. I think natives in general, or I guess any culture that's been through a lot, like heavy, I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to go too dark here, but I'm saying I think humor and dark humor are huge towards our survival as natives. I think it's kind of become a big part of native personality. I mean, I'm not saying we're the only ones capable of dark humor, but I'm saying if you're in a room with a native, I think they'd respond a lot more to dark humor than, happy-go-lucky humor. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think it's grown as kind of a bit of a survival tool. And since there's been this big trauma to our people, there's a lot of hurt that we all kind of carry, and in dealing with it, we've kind of moved to humor. And like you said, your pizzazz or your tahine, our humor is peppered with darkness, and it comes from a dark place, and sarcasm kind of lays right smack dab in the middle. And I think the quote that I was looking for earlier was from Anger Management, and I think Jack Nicholson says sarcasm is anger's ugly cousin. You know what I mean? It's very close. It's closely related to anger and where anger comes from. And I think anger comes from a dark place too. And so, I don't know what point I'm making now, but I'm saying the native twist is that there is some darkness in the history and the DNA practically of native people, and basically any people that have been persecuted and downtrodden and kind of beat down for generations, and it's very obvious in the history books and the movies and the media, and it's like being overlooked or being persecuted where you're the only attention you're getting is negative. And I'm not saying that's all we get, but I'm saying it's prominent. And the sarcasm and sincerity that we hold dear is dark. Is that the point I was trying to make? I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to lay it out there.
I think I sort of see it now to where there is this dark. Well, I guess, what do you call it, the trauma, the passed on trauma, or
Winona LaDuke called it intergenerational trauma.
Yeah, but even just speaking to that and having, your words still echo those things.
Yeah.
Our past histories or even current struggles of, what we go through now. Sometimes it helps to. Well, laughter's the best medicine, but when there's so much dark shit happening or that has happened, It's having a joke that relates to that or that's on that level, might help.
Yeah.
So I guess it's the appropriate time or the inappropriate time.
Yeah. I think either way it winds up being kind of therapeutic. And along the lines of what we were talking before too, we're just going back to it. Is we were talking about why you would go and see a scary movie, or why you would go and watch a sad movie, a drama, or a comedy or a romance. It's exercising those different points of your brain, the different emotions that we all carry as humans, and for us, sometimes exercising that darkness in sarcasm, exercising that trauma and fighting it with humor, keeping ourselves uplifted and happy while carrying this heavy load is like therapy. Regardless of the situation, whether it's the appropriate time or not. I actually appreciate inappropriate humor all the time. Like I like when it's completely unwarranted and unwelcome, and then somebody just blasts it with some humor, some dark humor, and I get a kick out of that. Which maybe the people who got upset with me and my sarcasm just didn't understand, or don't either personally or understand it about me.
Yeah,
I'm exercising my demons on a very. It seems superficial, but it's actually deeply rooted in who I am. Like I think people that really know me at home know that I am dark and I have these demons that I deal with, and that's why I'm always joking. Like I think I was a bit of a class clown in school. Like maybe not. I don't know. A lot of people seem to see something different in me. But I'm saying, like, people that know me, I'm always trying to joke, always trying to lighten the situation, and probably inappropriately, more often than not. But yeah, it does something for me, regardless.
I get that.
I think you do. Yeah.
I don't know. I was talking about that the other day. Is that our natural defiant self, just finding some way to maybe not follow the track and kind of steer off into your own trail.
Now, as what? Are you saying as natives or as humans?
Maybe as natives, because I think the intergenerational past trauma. I don't know if I said that right, but the stuff that we know we've been through, and our. Maybe our ancestors or relatives or, even people that we feel connected to that have gone through. There's unresolved issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unresolved, it's all unresolved.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking that in the back of my head. Like, you can't really pin that down on one subject.
So to be native in America, or to be a minority in a country where the American dream is very not native, and to just kind of put yourself in maybe past times. Your instinct is going to be, I need to be defiant. I need it. I can't trust. And then that's kind of a thing too, where it's like you can't trust nobody, you know. But we have a good reason, you know, because of shit that's unresolved.
Yeah.
So
nicely put.
So maybe we need sarcasm to just even be comfortable using, you know, the language.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. I think you're touching on to something that's pretty deep. I was thinking about what you're saying about being unresolved, and I started thinking about the words unhealed. The healing hasn't been allowed to happen. Like it's like an open wound, and it's very easy to throw salt in there. You know, to feel that burn, and it's like in our faces everywhere. And maybe sarcasm is also like an escape, like a way to, like I like that you're saying the word defiance in the use of language. Because language is a huge, maybe not barrier, but a key to understanding between people, between cultures, is language. And to use defiance in your language is a way to, like I was saying, healing, to rebel, like you were saying, and to heal, to defy, to, I guess, to, like as we were saying earlier, to go through therapy is therapeutic. To use humor and sarcasm and exercise that dark history that we have, that dark pain, that dark, the darkness that we all carry.
Well, it's almost addressing.
Yeah.
It's addressing what's at hand.
You wanna call it like one of our titles, the Native American stigma? It's addressing the stigma.
Maybe. You know, but when I first brought up the topic, it was sort of like, maybe someone not trusting what you say.
Yeah.
And maybe having to self-reflect and be like, I do mean what I say, or am I just being nice? You know, there's I guess sort of the power of your words and knowing maybe you're saying something that someone might not want to hear, or maybe something that they're not used to hearing, and it sounds weird to them because suddenly you're saying maybe something opposite of what everyone else is telling them.
Interesting.
So that was kind of why I brought it up, because it was like, I'm not just saying these things to be nice. I wanna, or I sincerely believe what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even if it's not true yet.
It's interesting. If it's not true yet.
Like knowing somebody has potential, and I saw a video the other day, and they're saying that they didn't like the word potential because it was like a space of where nothing's happening. Like So he didn't like to use the word, so it was sort of like, and I use the word a lot because I see a lot of potential. I always see potential, but I can tell somebody that they have potential, but it's up to them to manifest it, to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you're trying to pump somebody up or trying to give them those, hey, you could do this if you could do that.
Yeah.
Someone could take that as just being nice.
Yeah.
But
always just being nice. Yeah.
Someone could be saying it because they really mean it, and so yeah, I think that was another part of it too. Was the term potential.
Well, that's an interesting perspective. So, as you know, my mind always goes to the science side, and when I hear potential, I think about potential energy. And when you were saying, oh, it's static, it's not going anywhere, that is potential energy. It's the ability to make change. The power to do something new, the power to move on, the power, like energy can be used as a force to move stuff. It can be used to change stuff. Like if there's built up energy in an electron, it has the potential to combine with other electrons or atoms, to combine and turn into something completely new. And then when you talk about somebody's potential, on a literal sense, that's what you're saying. You're saying, wow, you got this ability in you, and all you need to do is release it. All you need to do is set it in motion and let it carry you on to this next step, this transformation, or this new journey you want to be on, or some talent that has yet to show.
Yeah.
When you're saying it. And you're saying it with sincerity.
Mm-hmm.
There has to have been a time where you said it just to be nice at the same time, though, right?
I think so. I mean, maybe you don't know somebody as well, and I think there's a lot of blanket statements that you say. And maybe we don't mean, or we do mean. It's just like the word happy. Like you don't define. Everyone has a different thing that makes them happy. It's not really a term that. We can't. I can't describe it, and I don't really think it's anything, but. It seems to be important. Mm-hmm. We always talk about it. People want to be happy, but it's not really a thing. Mm-hmm. It's not one thing. It's a lot of things. So, I guess if I said that and didn't mean it, it was only probably because I didn't know the person or whoever I was talking to. I didn't know them well enough, but for the most part, like if I say something,
well, I guess you'd have to know them to be certain of that, but you still see something. Like, hey, you got potential, and I see it, but maybe I don't know it for certain. Mm-hmm. But I think I see it, and so I'm going to say it. That's interesting. That's really, really a keen point. So I was thinking of the word placate. I think in today's vernacular, in today's words, I think our language shapes the way people talk in movies, and I'll explain that. But I think the word placate, and I don't even know the definition. If you wanted to look that up, I would appreciate it. But I see it in my mind. The definition of placating someone is telling them what they want to hear. All right, and in today's society, telling somebody what they want to hear is a negative thing. Like, hey, don't placate me. I hear that line used in a lot of movies, and like I watch a lot of movies. Yeah, like, hey, don't, like they tell them something, and they're like, hey, don't placate me. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm trying to tell you how I feel. It's like, don't placate me. It's negative now. So I think where we're at as a society shapes our language, shapes our processes, and it shapes our movies. And in paying attention to that, I listen to a lot of the language, the dialogue. Like I like to think about writing a lot, and it changes. The language doesn't stay the same. Like the word isn't and ain't, they're really becoming like ain't. A lot of people go, oh, ain't isn't a word, but we use it so damn much. How the hell can it not be? Because we all know what it is now. And I think at some point, I'm not certain, but I'm thinking at some point it became part of the Webster's Dictionary of Definitions. So our language is transforming. It's amorphous. It never stays the same. It's constantly evolving. And because of that, our movies evolve too. And the dialect and the dialogue is the word I was trying to use, changes. So placate, I feel, has become negative, and it's always used that way lately as, don't placate me. Don't you dare try to placate me. And it's telling somebody, hey, I think this is what you need to hear, so I'm telling you. And we're talking about sincerity, so it's like, all right, I truly feel this way, so I'm telling you this. You've got potential. So,
yeah.
Another...
So placate is to soothe.
Yeah, to smooth it out, to kind of like, hey, like look, soothe, yes.
And then I saw this one. Is not a good one. I mean, it's not a good definition. I saw better one.
Okay.
Now the internet wants to be slow. It said to make less hostile.
Yes.
Less angry.
Yeah.
So by placating somebody, you're not being sincere. You're trying to get them to calm down.
Yeah. And that's why I'm using that tone. I'm like, don't placate me, because that's usually how I see it being used in movies. Somebody's pissed off. They got all that energy and that rage going, and now they're really giving it to somebody, and then somebody says, hey, it's not like that, or hey, you're not like that, and he's like, hey, don't placate me. So we're talking sincerity versus placating somebody. Another word that I kind of think we should cover is the use of the term to be honest.
To be honest?
Yeah, a lot of people say that now, like, oh, well, honestly, to be honest, this. Like they feel like they're speaking the truth now. And I've got a problem with that, and it's because of my mom. She always gets mad when she hears that, like, oh, like, she says something like, oh, what, so you were lying this whole time? Like, now you're being honest? And I always come back to that, like, she screwed it up for me, because I started using it.
The phrase?
Yeah, to be honest.
Oh, my God.
And it's like, okay, so now you're going to be honest? Like, fuck, what were we doing before this? You were placating me? So what I'm saying is you see it a lot in movies now. And what I think is fucking ridiculous is when there's like a period piece movie or it's like an old-timey movie, they still use the language of today. Because the kids, the younger people who are writing these movies are using today's vernacular. So, I mean, if you watch a true oldie, like a movie that was actually set back in the day, the vocabulary is so much larger and there's so much more smooth education for everybody. Like we were saying before, we're so focused on standardized testing, we're losing part of this real education that people used to get. So when I hear, to be honest, in like a movie that's supposed to be in the 80s or the 60s or the 70s, I'm kind of like it's a sticking point for me. So I kind of want to talk about it. Like, to be honest, we're talking about sincerity. It's like, hey, I truly feel this way. And I think that's what people are like, it's kind of like, oh, mark this. It's like let's put an asterisk here. This is me being honest and not holding back. To be honest, let me tell you this. You know what I mean? I think that's originally what it's for, and how it came about and being used in a lot. Like if you talk to somebody, if you have a dialogue with somebody, listen for it now. People use that shit a lot now, and it's in movies a lot, and it kind of bothers me now. Thanks to my mom, like it bothers me. Like, oh, now you're gonna be honest. Like, okay, so this is when you're gonna be honest. Yeah, because I said to be honest. So now, from my point of saying to be honest, from here on, yeah, now I'm gonna be honest.
It's like you're under oath now.
Yeah, it's like, all right, yeah, it's like you got your hand on the Bible now, or how, whatever God you want to talk about. Yeah, it's like, okay, now I'm going to be honest. So take note of this, because I just said the sentence, to be honest. Now take note, because now you're going to get my jewels. I'm gonna give you the good stuff here. And really, I think originally it was like, hey, in all truthfulness, let me be frank. I think we've lost those other terms, like, let me be frank. It's like, your name is Benjamin, it's not Frank. Like, let me be frank. I think that one's fallen by the wayside, but what we're saying here is, look, no bullshit. Like, I think a lot of people, in dealing with each other's and each other's personalities, we bullshit a little. There's a little bit of, like, all right, I better be careful. I better be careful what I say. Yeah. But to be honest, I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel at this point. So it's troublesome, and I might be going way off topic here. But,
no, you're not. You're not, because it's like it's almost like a standard of holding back,
because we're all so nice now, right? Or we're all playing nice.
Yeah.
It's like, let me be real nice and placate you. Let me be real nice and not tell you how I really feel.
Up to a point where you got to be honest.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So honesty is not sincere.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, it's losing. I think honesty is getting weakened, or the idea of being honest is being weakened by that expression now. And I really think it's only because my mom put it into question in my head. She planted that seed. Like, I see her as old-fashioned. She's about, a lot of people are like the next generation than their parents. But my mom and my dad, they're from a time that's maybe twice removed generations, where they're even further ahead, or in the past. So when they approach stuff, and especially language, because my mom's a teacher and my dad is just this like straight up dude when he's talking. I mean, he's never brought it up, but my mom's like, oh, so you're gonna be honest? Oh, I don't like that when people say that, because that means they weren't being honest before. And in truth, it's not the case. But because they say that, maybe you've lost all credibility, because now you're being honest.
Well, I think there's, they say a happy camper, or like you're on you don't want to be the one that spoils it for everyone, so you bite your.
Yeah.
You don't say nothing, but when you get put in a position to where someone's asking something about it, and it's almost like, even though I didn't say nothing before, now I'm going to say my truth. Yeah. But,
or hey, don't bullshit me. Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah.
And then you start with, okay, well, to be honest, you're being an asshole.
So it's like, there's a thin line between being nice and an asshole.
Yeah. Or being truthful. Nice and being truthful. Being real with yourself and the person you're talking to.
Yeah.
It's like, look, what you did back there wasn't cool. But I stood by it because I didn't want to, throw a wrench into the gears here. I wanted us to keep going. I wanted us to keep moving. But now that it's just me and you, I got to be honest, you're being this way. That was not cool. To be honest, you have a lot of potential.
But I also kind of hear it to where, like it's kind of like my permission to speak the truth. Yeah. Well, all right. Let's talk about that then. Like society, we've become very softened, or if anything, respectful. Maybe a little too respectful, too nice. You know what I mean? Like we're more concerned with coming off like an asshole than speaking our mind, and thus the necessity to use the expression "to be honest." Because I'm being honest, I have to express that this is honest versus just being honest. Like, hey, let's mark this. This is honest, and this is how I feel. So let's not take it as me being a dick or me trying to hurt your feelings. I'm just being honest. So let's be honest. It's like permission to. Oh, it's almost like permission, but also kind of like what is it? Is that a form of being sincere?
I was just gonna ask: is it more sincere to speak your mind all the time, or to occasionally be honest?
Yeah, it reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where...
A what?
The Seinfeld episode. Where they kind of point out that Kramer will say whatever he's thinking, and other people have a hard time saying what he says, but he just blurts it out, like no filter. And
the lady loved him for it.
Yeah.
He's a sincere guy. He's a stand-up guy. He's an honest guy. While everybody else who was busy being nice were pussyfooting around the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
This ugly-ass baby. Like, ugh! They're making those faces. You gotta see the baby. Or the ladies. I think you're talking about the ladies, like old school hairdo, or.
Oh yeah, that one. But I think there's a one where he tells somebody she needs to get a nose job.
Yeah.
And George wouldn't say it out front, but she ended up getting it, and I don't know. But Kramer just said it out loud, like, yeah, you just need to get a nose job and you'll look good.
Yeah. Maybe do a little something with this and that while you're under the knife. To be honest, why don't you throw some salt on this real quick? Beef this up a little.
So to say to be honest is not being honest.
There you go. And
I lied back then. To keep the momentum tension down. But now here's an opportunity for me to say how I really feel.
Yeah. And I just want to say I love how Seinfeld is painting the picture for us now. Like how a TV show is shaping how we deal with each other, or our examples.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a satirical show. We're making fun of the way things really are, in a humorous way, and sometimes a dry honesty. To be honest, if I can speak my mind here, if I'm just being frank, Okay. All right, so back to the question, and I'm asking you specifically. Do you think it's better to be honest all the time? Because let me put it this way: a good white lie always comes in handy sometimes. All right, I'm saying sometimes and always. I'm pussyfooting around it right now. Is it better to be honest all the time? No white lies, no, let's not talk about it. Yeah. Being nice, is it better to be nice or to be honest? Because I think as a society, we're leaning pretty heavy towards being nice. And I think sometimes we overstep that. We're overstepping a certain line that we shouldn't cross by being nice.
Yeah, well, I think it does kind of put us in unnatural spots, I think. Like, none of this stuff will be happening if we weren't nice. I think things would be more... Well, I don't want to say truthful, but maybe more rugged. If being nice was not required, or even Well, as maybe the necessity or the need for niceness to make things run smoothly, but being able to know when your honesty, is important. I mean, maybe it matters. But then I also think too, like, like your friends and your circles, like, who understands your language versus you talking to a stranger. The sarcasm might be way different. Yeah. But do you need to be honest to a stranger? You know what I'm saying?
I would hope a stranger will be honest with me 90% of the time. All right, maybe more like 85. lie to me, please.
So, is honesty anything?
I mean, does it still hold value?
I mean, I'm saying, like it's kind of opinion-based to where sometimes I think of the phrase, like, if you don't got something nice, don't say it at all.
Yeah.
But, sometimes honesty does cut deep. And if everywhere you go you're getting cut deep, or I don't know. If being nice, if the world was like, hey, you don't gotta be nice no more, are we gonna suddenly just treat everybody like shit?
Yeah.
Because I think, but then all these basic rules, like, like treat people how you want to be treated, like, I don't know. It's like maybe we're not talking about sarcasm, maybe we're talking about honesty. Because like that, even the phrase you just mentioned, like, to just throw that word in there, suddenly it's supposed to represent something more sincere. But, like, even talking about language from another generation, like, I think of that, like, my word is strong as oak, and oak being this
Yeah.
Strong wood from the forest, like, I don't, and that phrase is, like, we should be always honest. You shouldn't need to say, hey, now I'm being honest, versus what I said just 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it's like, you were supposed to be honest the whole entire time.
Yeah.
So, maybe honesty is not always needed.
Mm-hmm.
Or it is,
Well, I think this whole being nice has come out of a necessity of progress. I think everybody wants to be progressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you talk to, like let's say a 90-year-old right now, they remember a time where language is a lot different, and they'll blurt out some shit that makes you cringe. Like you're like, ooh, you didn't just say that shit out loud. But to them, hey, that was perfectly okay. And that's rougher. Like I consider myself a pretty hard-nosed individual with a thick skin, but I'll cringe every now and then when I hear some fucked up shit. And I think our over nice. I do think we've crossed a line of niceness and lost a little bit of the actual positive potential of words. Like we've weakened our words, but I think in the name of progress and the necessity for it I'm saying being nice is necessary to a point, and I think that's what everybody is trying to do. Is they're trying to say, hey, I'm progressive, or they're being progressive. But I think at some point, some people are just trying to point out that they're being progressive, and then that's insincere. You know what I mean? And so yes, there's being nice is necessary. You don't want to go around just breaking hearts and putting people in the dumps where there's a potential for self-pain and suicide and all this. You don't want to be horribly honest. But you also don't want to be so damn nice that you become insincere. We become this weak, I see it as weak, like this over-niceness as being a little too soft on people. Like some people need a little bit of honesty. Some people need a good kick in the teeth or a kick in the ass. But then there's a whole other group of people that just don't deserve it or have such a hard time already. You don't want to be stepping all over them with your honesty. So, that's the issue, I guess, is that we're in progressing. We've become very nice, supposedly. Not everybody, not everything, not society, not on, in politics or whatever.
On the surface.
Yes, yeah. I think we've lost We've lost I don't want to say longevity. We've lost sincerity at some point. There's a I can't remember the name of it in math, but it's something about limits. And at some point when you've reached that limit and keep going, you start losing, you start going back. I think that's where we're at right now, and we're struggling with it. So everybody's struggling to be nice because it's what is expected of us. But I think it's gone to such an extreme that a bit of our language and our identity is being killed off. Maybe language and identity are one and the same. What I'm saying is, like, at some point I think we've reached our limit and stepped past it. Of being nice, where nice is a positive thing, where nice is progressive, where nice is helpful, where being nice is actually nice. Where where it's no longer supportive. I feel like at some point we start losing by being overcompensated. We're overcompensating with our niceness when at some point that starts becoming a negative. And you lose sincerity. I don't trust a totally, really, really nice person. It kind of it bothers me. There are nice people and I love them to death, but then there's people who are really, really nice and I'm like, ugh, get away from me. Or I can't be around you. You're nice and all, but please go stand over there, or I'm gonna go be over here now, because I don't want to be around all that. Does that make any sense, or am I just coming off as a not nice person? I'm trying to be honest here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to speak the truth and be sincere.
To be honest.
Well, there you go.
Speaking my truth.
Let me speak my truth now.
Oh man! No, I mean,
yeah.
I think it goes back to different strokes for different votes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember what rapper it was. It was Tiger. He was like, we don't all have to get along. We don't all have to rock with each other. And maybe in certain settings, certain language is appropriate. Or, yeah, just like I said, like with who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to understand your language better than somebody you don't really hang with.
Yeah.
But,
all right.
Yeah. I mean, you're not. Sometimes you're not. I mean, you don't need to be. I mean, yeah, you be nice to your friends, but sometimes not being nice to them and telling them the truth makes you more of a friend. You know what I mean? Like to where.
Yeah. Well,
like we're saying nice isn't anything. Sometimes it's unnatural.
Yeah. Well, how about I like how you mentioned rocking. Think about it this way: as a society, we're all in the same boat. We all need to move forward, and niceness has greased the wheels. You know, it's made that possible for us to all move forward. You can be nice to a stranger, and that's better than just being some prick. But some people need a whole lot of leave alone and some honesty to get them to change a little bit. And I think my whole talking about overstepping that is now there's a little bit of forced niceness. Now, if you're not nice, they're gonna come get you. This whole cancel culture. Like say somebody's driving their car and they run a whole bunch of people over. At some point, if we're just always being nice, it's like, hey, I like how you only ran over 38 people and not 39. Good job on that, my man. I'm going to be real nice to you and tell you, hey, that was real cool how you stopped killing people. Or, you know, that might be a little extreme, but what I'm saying is, like, that person needs a good sock in the mouth. That person needs to be yanked out of the car and gotten the crap kicked out of them. But if we're all being so nice to the extreme, that person might go on to continue being this awful person that's going to wind up sinking the boat. You know, or it brings us all down.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is there's an equilibrium that I think we've kind of crossed and we're becoming unbalanced. And like you said, it's a circus. I think the whole cancel culture is a bit of a circus. Yeah, some people needed to be called out.
Yeah.
And some don't. All right, let's be honest. To be honest, some people didn't need to be called out in this whole cancel culture. They needed a kick in the ass, but they didn't need to be canceled.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's almost like we're fishing for someone not being honest.
Yeah, we got our heat seekers on, are not nice heat-seeking missiles, and we're looking for a victim.
You know what this reminds me of is what I don't like, or I mean, it's not so much I don't like it, but when the way it's used and it's just sort of like, what does that mean though? Or like, how do you define that? Or, like, how are you more, like when people say real, or like, I'm too real, or you know, like my realness, you know, like, I'm just trying to be real, you know, it's like very,
yeah.
I mean, I think I use the term too, but then,
hey, I keep it real.
I mean, if I keep it trill. No, but I mean, I guess it's always been, if I don't know you and you're a stranger and you're saying I'm real, then
damn,
I just gotta believe that, or
take you at your word on that.
What is your definition of real? You know, so it's just kind of, maybe because these terms don't have a specific defining thing. I mean, the language can be loosely changed over time.
Yeah.
To where honesty, sarcasm, or all these things that we're saying, you know, we could easily just, you know, make them the opposite or downgrade them.
Yeah. You said being real, the definition. I think sincerity and real can go in the same pool. But when you say real, it feels kind of cut and dry. You're either real or you're not real. And I feel like sincerity has this, like, softness to it. Hey, I'm being sincere, this soulful feeling to it. When you're saying, hey, I'm real, there's usually a tone to it. And it's like, hey, you're either real like me or you're fake as fuck. You know what I mean? And another part of that I've heard people say, and I agree with it, is like what's happening with cancel culture or being real or all this sincerity or honesty or being nice. A lot of people are taking it too far where they're looking to take other people out so that they can prove themselves to be real and honest and sincere and nice. So like, I caught this person not being nice, and since I caught it and I called them out on it, I'm extra nice.
Yeah.
I'm more real. I'm realer. You know, I'm more sincere. I'm better. And I think that's where the whole overstep happened.
I just.
Oh, this guy hates gay people, and I obviously love gay people because I called him out on it. Let's cancel him. Let's destroy this person's life.
Yeah, there is pretty crazy place.
Yeah. I liked Chappelle's version where it's all nasty. Remember? It's just all gross, and they're like, we gotta get out of here.
Good stuff, though. I mean,
yeah. I think we've hit it. I think we made a point. Unless you got more to say here, I think we've made a good point here.
I don't think so. I mean, I think I would say there's a time and a place, because there might be someone listening, and they might not get it.
Yeah.
And
they're sitting there fuming.
Suddenly it's something not what it was meant to be.
Yeah.
But then also, too, where I've seen it where it's a serious matter, and sometimes we use humor to just deal with some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always accepted.
Yeah.
So I guess knowing where you're at, because there's a lot of levels to the language they're using. But I mean, I think it's, for the most part, you know, like, the language is pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's a lot of things you can do with it. So maybe reflecting on how you want to use your language to build things, versus tear something down.
Yeah. Took the words right out of my mouth.
But I think that's to be honest, I'm running out of shit to say.
Yes. All right, I'll take it. I'll take it from here. I want to say in closing that I want to say in old age. I'm only 35, but in old age, I'm saying it because I know way more than I did when I was 20, and I know way more than when I was a teen, and I absolutely know way more than when I was a kid. Not necessarily in a positive way, but what I'm getting at is like my sarcasm. I know now through experience and the mistake of overstepping that, overusing it. Maybe sometimes I even used my sarcasm as a crutch. I had to overuse it and abuse it to the point where now I'm aware of it. I had to become aware of it to be able to work on it, and I think we should all examine and go back and go, all right, who am I? Who do I want to be? How do I want to be treated? Like these are basic rules that every religion and every good parent is teaching. Is like, how do you want to be treated? This is how you're going to be. This is how you're going to act in society. You're not just going to go out there and be an animal. This is what separates us from the animals. So what I'm saying is, now, of course, I can still be overly sarcastic. I can still piss people off with my sarcasm, but I'm aware of it now, and I think I'm the better for it. I'm the better me. I'm the better version of me because I'm aware of it, and I'm so aware of it that I examine it now, and I check myself. And I think really it's not our jobs to check each other's. I mean, like I said, some people do need a kick in the ass. But I think we're all going to be better off if we just keep ourselves in check. And if we can do that, like, the people that need the kick in the ass aren't capable of keeping themselves in check. And that's when they need the helping boot in the ass. So it's like, all right, check yourselves before you wreck yourselves. Let's go old school on that. If you're
check yourself.
Yeah, if you're aware of it, and let's say now you are, say hopefully we've given you, our listeners, something to think about, which is your sincerity and the expression, to be honest, and sincerity. Let's think about that. The next time you want to go off with somebody or use sarcasm or be nice, think of it's benefiting you and the people around you. Because there's a hell of a potential to take that too far. If you got to crush somebody else to come up yourself, there's probably something wrong there. And you should go back and think about it for the next time. We can all make the mistakes. I've done it myself. I screw up all the time. But if I can learn from it and come back from it and be better tomorrow, then I think we'll all be better for it. Our society will be better for it. And I think it's much more important to be aware of yourself than to be going around being a justice warrior against everybody. Becoming everybody's enemy and everybody's your enemy. I think we're a lot better off if we check ourselves and then recognize the difference between being nice and being too nice. You know, recognizing where that line is. And yes, as a society, as long as we're moving forward, that line's going to move. It's fluid. It's organic. It's evolving, ever evolving. I think at some point, I hope, as a society, we recognize that yes, we've gone a little too far, and we can pull the rein. We're still not so far that you can't pull those reins back a little bit and slow this outward progression that this track of momentum and progression that we're on. Hopefully, as a society, that we're all a part of. This isn't like, natives in the United States, natives and non-natives, black or brown and white. This is a society. We're all in it. We're all in the same boat. Let's check ourselves. Let's take care of ourselves, and I think we'll all be a lot better off. What do you think about that? I think you said that in maybe less words.
I think we should talk about this further.
Oh yeah, we'll come back to it, like we said.
Yeah, no, I think so, because I get why people say that.
Yeah.
To be honest, but I also understand why it's kind of a problem. Why it can be hinting towards a problem where we're not being our true selves. We're kind of conforming to the general way of thinking, and when you realize you're not thinking that way, you still go with it because you don't want to disrupt anything until you can say, but to be honest, I don't really feel that.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're not messing with the natural flow of things. You're going to say it off.
Nice.
Off into where no one else will hear. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Nice.
But maybe we'll figure it out someday.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what we're gonna call it, guys. Please subscribe. Our numbers are growing, and I like the idea of having a large audience that we could talk to, that we can relate to. And if you guys hit the notification bell, you can get first notice when these episodes get out. Hopefully, at least once a week. I think if I can pull that off, I'm happy with that. Once a week. I think in the beginning, all I could even conceive in my mind was that we'd be doing this once a month. 12 episodes in a year, and we're partway through the year, and we're at 23. I think 22, 23.
Wow.
So, I'm going to be trying to keep us consistent in at least once a week. So hit the notification bell and you'll get notified as soon as the next one drops. So thanks, Guy. Everybody, thank you for listening.
Good night.
All right, I'm hitting the big red button. Peace.
Peace out.